And here we are at the train station. We're going to take this train down the tracks. That same virtual desktop we're going to go mobile with. We put it on the iPad. We had 802.11 a minute ago. Now we're going to go 3G. Here we go. Come on with us. Okay, we caught the train, actually while it's moving, but this is good. We're moving down the tracks. Now as we are, this is that same virtual desktop that we saw earlier in the manufacturing floor. It's on the same iPad. Now the difference here is we're not on an 802.11 connection, we're on a 3G connection going down the train. Same applications that I have here, everything that's given to me off receiver, but also that same video we ran. Let me double click on the video and I'll show you the difference here. Now we ran earlier on the thin client. The thin client actually had the embedded Windows Media Player, so it helped it along, it rendered it locally. In this case it certainly doesn't. We have an iPad, and the iPad doesn't have an embedded Windows Media Player, so it relies on the data center to render the whole video and send it all here via pixels. And it's doing that right now, right over that 3G connection. Now, if you don't have your iPad with you, there's always a backup, and that's your iWatch. So with your iWatch, you can scroll through all your different apps here, tune your FM station, click, get your time, do whatever you need to do. And guess what time it is for me? I gotta catch my stop. Talk to you later. And now I'm at home, and I have my virtual desktop on my iPad right on my home office desk, and it's sitting right next to my iMac. And this is okay, this is good, because I can open up a browser here and I can authenticate in and pull that virtual desktop right off the iPad and bring it onto the iMac. So you'll see everything that I was working on here will stay fully intact. It takes it off the iPad, moves it right into the iMac. And when it's over here, it's got a big screen real estate, so I can even be more productive in here. And I can grab it and move it off to the right-hand side, because on a Mac they have a thing called spaces in here. Virtual windows that you can use sort of simultaneously. If I grab it and move it to the right-hand side, here we are in a new Windows space. I'm going to go View and go into full screen, and so my virtual Windows 7 workspace, email, full screen. All you have to do is say Control left arrow and it brings you back into the world of Mac. Now in Mac, I'm editing movies, so you can see I got a little vacation movie here to Hawaii with the locals going crazy on the waves. But for now, Control right arrow, popped straight into the Windows 7 virtual desktop from work. Keep working, very productive all the time. All right, let's preheat this thing to 975. That should be about right. All right, now that we have that oven warming up, we're gonna make a little lunch here. Get hungry working upstairs in that home office. So it's pretty nice because while I'm here in the kitchen, I also have an HP Touch Smart computer right next to me here. And of course, family photos rotating on that all the time, which is nice. You can access recipes in the kitchen, you know, how to make a pizza and such, run videos and everything else you need. It's sort of at the center of the family in the home. But you know what you can also do? You can connect into that virtual desktop right here as well. And you can run multi-touch right on this machine. So if I open up a photo, I can actually do multi-touch, zoom in and zoom out, and that's pretty amazing. But when I connect into my virtual desktop, I can do much the same. So here I just connect, authenticate to the virtual desktop. The same desktop we were working on upstairs, just as we left it with our email open, bring it down here, and I can certainly do email while I'm here, as long as my hands are pretty clean. I can also open up photographs on my work desktop here. If I pop one open here, much the same. Virtual multi-touch machine connected into the virtual desktop. So the interface here is connected in, works quite well from far, far away. But what if I was really far away? What if I was on another continent, like 200 millisecond delay away? Well, then things would be interesting and certainly more challenging, but we have something for that, and that's Branch Repeater. So I'm about to show you now how Branch Repeater can make the Zen desktop virtual desktop experience when far away much better, make it feel like you're right close to your data. Let's take a look at that now. So right here on every Windows 7 machine in the videos section under sample videos is the wildlife video. Now this video ships on every Windows 7 machine and it's high def and wonderful, and it's a 6 megabit per second bit stream, so it's really useful in stress testing the machine as well as the network connection if you do it that way. And we are, because we're connecting into a virtual desktop that is very, very far away, and we're going to play this thing. And we're going to show it without Branch Repeater the first time through and then with it later on, and you'll see a significant difference. Let's look at that. If I double click on the wildlife video, it's going to open it up and attempt to start playing it. But it's pretty far away, like I said. It's a virtual desktop that is 200 milliseconds away, and our connection here is limited to 7 megabit per second, and it's a 6 megabit per second video. So it's really stodgy here and slow and such. And if you look over here on the right side of the screen, I've got a bandwidth meter up that's showing the network traffic. Now, even though we're paying for 7 megabits per second into this facility, we're only getting about 2.5. And that's because it's 200 milliseconds away. With TCP, with the acknowledgements coming so late on that kind of delay, the whole effective communication backs off, and effectively you're paying for 7, you get 2.5. That's not good. Until we turn on branch repeater, and then everything changes. So if you go back to the HP TouchSmart screen on the counter, the physical machine, it has receiver installed, which is good because inside receiver it has plugins installed that are going to help. In this case, the accelerator plugin. And when I open that up, accelerator plugin is the piece that talks to branch repeater and gives us all these benefits. And in here you can see it's disabled for the first run. Now we're going to turn it on and we're going to get all of its benefits. So I click on Enable Acceleration. It's going to connect, communicate with branch repeater, get everything sorted out, and when we run the video again, it's going to look quite a bit different. So now we've got the accelerator plugin enabled, talking to the branch repeater. I'm going to fire off a very same wildlife video, and you're going to see a big difference. The wildlife video now is running smooth. The horses are trotting away, and all the wildlife is looking real happy. And what's interesting also on the other side, when we look at the bandwidth monitor, we're actually getting the 7 megabits per second that we're paying for into this location. So that's great. No longer limited with the TCP backoffs. And that's because branch repeater and the accelerator plugin are working famously. TCP optimization, flow control, compression history, caching, all of that brought to bear on your experience. Far away, but feels like you're close to the data center. And as far as the pizza goes, I think I'm going to order out.
And now we're going to get even further away from the office and the home office. One of my favorite places, the golf office,
which is a great example of the term work shifting, being connected but being anywhere. And to do this, we're going to take a look at a couple of new mobile devices, one of which is as small as a golf ball. And that's the Nika Sunrise Bluetooth headset by Maverick. In addition to that, I'm going to pull out my iPhone. So with a Bluetooth connection, I can make a phone call. And at the same time, I can put Citrix receiver on here and connect into remote virtual applications over a 3G network. Now the two examples here are going to be medical applications, so I'm the doctor on the golf course. I'm going to go in to confidential patient records here first and take a look at this. I can look at lab results and x-ray information. And from that, you know what I see? I think I see AP and lateral views of the left lumbar vertebrae demonstrate a distal femoral contusion. Ooh, that sounds bad. Now another application I can get into is the information about the hospital itself. So the emergency room, the operating room, I can see the schedules, and from that I can decide how to schedule this patient in for a quick procedure. And based on everything I see, I'm going to recommend reverse appendectomy. That should be about right. Can you schedule that in first thing Monday morning? Thank you. And all of that while I quietly wait my turn on the green. Work shifting at the golf course. Another life saved. So that brings us to the last step of the journey, which is client-side virtualization. So let's look at Zen Client. For that, let's take a look at this laptop right here. Now, vPro architecture inside, format the hard drive and lay down, install Zen Client. You're all set and ready to install virtual machines on top of here, one or many. In this case, one VM is for personal use. I can use it for whatever I choose. And the other VM is another Windows VM, but it's for business use, provided to me by the business. Let's go in and look at the personal VM first. Now this VM is mine, and I can choose to use this however I choose. And what I'm going to do right now is actually open up a real super high speed, high def racing video. And with this race car driving around the track real fast, pretty high def, pretty amazing actually, it's running on top of the hypervisor. So it shows how well the hypervisor actually extracts and accesses the graphics card underneath. Pretty good, pretty fast, pretty amazing. The other thing I can do, obviously, since this is my personal VM, is open up a browser and do here what I choose. Open up iTunes, download music and such, and then also just grab, you know, anything off the internet and get viruses and keyloggers and all that wonderful kind of stuff that I might do on my own personal VM. Good news though, I have a separate VM for business. Let's go look at that. I come up above here in the tab area on top, and I got my personal VM, my business. If I click on the business VM, I go straight into that. another instance of Windows 7 running on the same machine. This is provided to me by the IT organization. Remember those guys hiding behind the IT window back there? They're behind the glass. They have created a virtual machine for me for business. I connect to the network, I actually stream it right over to the machine, and it runs right on the hard drive here. Part of that actually has receiver running down below, so it's fully integrated in already, so all of my virtualized applications are provided to me also. With that, I can open up, in this case, PowerPoint, and then inside PowerPoint I can actually show you the architecture. The underlying architecture is x86, we know that. We installed Zen Hypervisor, the Zen client here with its control software, and the 2 VMs are there also. So we have a personal VM and a business VM, as we talked. The personal VM is installed by me. I put the DVD in, install it, use it how I choose. The business VM, provided to me by the IT organization. I take this away into the world and make changes and come back and reconnect, and all those changes are synchronized back into the data center where it's secure and backed up. So that's the last piece in the puzzle. Virtualizing applications and desktops in the data center, all prepared and stored and backed up safely behind the glass. Everything that happens outside the glass is the end users, selecting the devices they choose, installing receiver on it, authenticating and connecting, and get their apps and desktops delivered to them automatically. So FlexCast is the flexible broadcasting of these applications and desktops to the users that choose them on any device, at any time, and anywhere. So that's the wow in Wow to How. And now it's time for you to see how it's going to work for you. So we at Citrix thank you for all your time, and we hope we see you in the EBC sometime soon. Hey, here we are on a Saturday night doing the thing we love most, is being at HP Pavilion watching the Sharks. And you know what? Here with my iPhone 4, I'm always connected. With Citrix receiver on here, you know, I can connect back to my apps all the time. Now the only problem, I didn't bring a bag tonight, and so I didn't bring my iPad, because it would have been nice with a receiver on iPad to connect into more real estate, more complex applications and stuff like that. That would have been great. But you know, I could use this thing about this size here, sort of that size there. Come on, what did you bring to the game tonight? What is this?
Tonight I brought the Samsung Galaxy.
No way, can I see that?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, it is! It's the Samsung Galaxy Tab. I can't believe it. This thing is brilliant. It has the Android operating system, and you know I can put Citrix receiver on here in seconds, and with that, I can connect into all the same apps that we do on all our other devices. Now check this out. We're connected in, we have all these menu choices here because this is my end drive at work. It's got all my work at work. And I'm going to go into the Citrix Dock Finder and open up some applications, some pretty cool things I want to show you. And especially on here, because in this form factor on this device, while we're out, you know, I can carry this in my jacket pocket and I can bring it out and it's perfect, right? Can't fit the iPad, this works great. And look at this, in here, running already, is the C-Scooter 3D CAD/CAM application. You can't beat it. It's certainly not running on the device. It's actually running back in the data center, and the pixels are being sent out to me here. Have you ever seen a C-Scooter before?
I have not.
Well, listen, they're pretty cool, and I know you want one for Christmas, but you don't want that one. You know why?
Why?
Because the only thing this one is missing is a Sharks logo on it. Wouldn't that be great on the side? And I tell you, it's a 3D CAD/CAM app, and so we can do that, not a problem.